recording a local copy. All right. So the meet follows a traditional New Jersey high school schedule. There's 11 events. There is a short pause, a break in there for diving, which occurred a couple days ago. Congratulations to them. The champions were announced. So as I understood, the meet was going to move pretty quick. This was scheduled to go off at 10:03, this event. It is 10:06 here, real time. All right. While I have a second. So again, lane 1 is near lane. All right, please refer to the scoreboard on the top left. Are the swimmers about to go? We're underway here, Heat 2. And now on the top right are the entries in Heat 3. Again, we're in circle seating. So traditionally, you'll see center lanes having a significant advantage over the outside lanes only because of the way they're seated that way. So the final 3 heats, that is lane 7, first to the wall. MBS, Morristown Beard School. Okay, we're into second swimmers here. Here they are, halfway through their breaststroke. Again, up on the scoreboard, Egg Harbor Township, Chatham is closest to you, 1-2. We'll be transitioning to third swimmers. That is lane 5. I'm assuming Rainey came in 148.82. Let's see where they're splitting here. 125.66 cumulative, 26.41 there on that split. So the top 8 will be invited back for tomorrow's A finals. There are only A finals. All right, here we come into the wall to the finish. Again, folks, I'm sorry, I'm just doing a little background work here, trying to clean up this lane assignment thing that I got wrong. All right, low time there. As you see on the scoreboard, the second column is the finish order, RANN. Do you guys want to hop on and give a shout during the race? All right. All right, so on the top right, you should see the scoreboard turn over to that next heat. Those are the entries there. We're going to individual races next. All right, underway, final heat. Top right are the entries in event 3. We're going odd numbers only, heat 1 of 4. Low seed here was lane 4, Pingree. Pingree came in on a 146.7. Again, meet record 143 by Cherokee. Last year, Westfield won at 143.89. I changed that too quick on that camera, sorry. All right, about third swimmers entering the pool. Lane 4, Pingree first at that turn. She'll have 25, one more swimmer to go on the 50 free. After this butterfly leg. All right, 25 to go at this final wall. Again, Pingree leads there. Sorry, I haven't been tracking. If somebody out there, you know the best 8, I'll try and get them as soon as they are updated on the website. Again, Be Smart Inc. is the website. And into the wall, low time, 147. Right, they just off their seat of 146. All right, so again, top right, we're moving to individual. We'll go down. All right, that's going to conclude event 1. Again, we're going odd numbers. We're going to event 3 now. Again, this is bottom right of your screen in white text. You'll see the menu of events, 200-yard freestyle. We have 4 heats here. So the final 3 heats will be circle seated. This first heat is not 158, 157, 158 seed times. You can see that there. So you see lane 3, Amanda, followed by Bryn and Sydney. No Sydney? Oh, see the official hands in the air. All right, looks like we don't have a Sydney right here. Underway. This is, again, heat 1 of 4. ...200-yard freestyle. Meet record 146.97 set last year by Summit Sydney Arcella. Sydney continuing her academic and athletic career at Duke. All right, here's the girls. So we're getting splits only on that left wall. We won't get 25 splits. So those girls are at 75 yards complete there. Since we have 2 swimmers, we could do a little ISO here. Again, the chat is open. If you want to, if I overlook a significant swim, feel free to put it in the chat. This is the girls' session. The boys' session, 2 o'clock this afternoon. Same YouTube channel, just a different stream. So again, this is being brought to you through my YouTube channel, Common Guy Sports, and really doing this as a kind of acknowledgement to all the seniors over the years covering certain swimmers. Really want to see them go out on a high note. So this will be the last high school meet for the swimmers, seniors that is. It's going to be interesting. There's a lot of underclassmen in the meet. Audrey Devereaux is not here. She's, I believe, in Louisiana or down south at a national meet. Outstanding swimmer from Haddonfield. Congratulations to Haddonfield boys and girls on their state championship. I didn't update those names on the top right. So that was heat 1 of 2. Folks, what you'll notice is I'll start talking and then forget to update things. Top right, those names are the swimmers in heat 2. So finish time there, 159, 159. Nice job, ladies. Both going sub 2. Came in right around that 158, 157s. All right, so here we are. These names need to be cleaned up a little. They're a little wonky, but those are the ladies now entering the pool. Again, we're into circle seating, low seed in the middle. Sydney Arcella came in on a 150.37. Okay, again, circle seating is splitting up the high seeds across the last 3 heats, such that, you know, in a sense, they're not racing against the same people they're going to be racing ultimately in the finals. That's a 50 turn. Sydney goes out in 24/7. Awesome. So that's the intent of circle seating. Also, there's a benefit, you know, so if you're a swimmer that might be kind of coming in like 10th or 11th, getting a push to bring you up to possibly be in the final 8 to come back for the A finals. So again, there's only A finals. Historically, pre-COVID, there was A's and B's. So that has changed. So those are 100 cumulative splits you see on the board. Sydney at a 51.68. Here she is turning down this far end at 125. All right, also, so going lane 1, Shea, 2, Brooke, 3, Isla. As I said, 4 is Sydney. Madeline Brennan in 5, Angela Zhu in 6, Sammy Oy in 7. Those are 150s, so a couple 28s on the board. Splits. This will be final 25. So Madeline Brennan hanging with Sydney. She came in on a 150, 130. Here we are into the finish. Top right of your screen are the Heat 3 entries. Sydney goes 148.65. Guess what, folks? That's her low. Again, her record last year, 146.97. Nice warm up there for Sydney. All right, those are your, was Heat 2. All right, I'm going to put this up and try and clean it up. Yeah, it's not. All right, so that white text there, folks, is the swimmers with their lane assignments. As we go, I'll try and... All right, underway. Couple 150s, middle lanes here. 4, Colleen Bull, Madeline Crawford of Chatham in 5. Again, lane 1, close lane. Scratch there in 3, Isla Johnston. One other thing just to note, so there are swimmers that have qualified, and I mentioned Audrey Devereaux, she's at a national level meet, but there are other swimmers that are continuing their seasons with their club teams, and even though they've qualified, they might not be here. All right, so I just want to acknowledge that. So this is Heat 3 in the pool. The names will get updated in a second on the top right for Heat 4. So that's 125 at that wall. Here we are at 150. Lane 4, Bull. Colleen Bull. Immaculate Heart. I'm sorry, IHS. All right, 25 to go at that far wall. Couple 28 splits on that last 50. 29 on the outside there. Kiss in 1. All right, low time here will be Colleen Bull in 4, followed by Crawford in 5. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong screen, folks. She goes 150, so right about Sydney Arcelo was... Here we go with Heat 3. Again, I'm trying to clean these up. Low seed, Sarah Rodriguez, 148, middle of the pool. Just outside her, Kira Harkins, sorry. Underway. Final heat here. Again, this is circle seeded, so they're not necessarily the lowest seed times. Actually, well, Sarah Rodriguez was 148.39, but on the outside lanes, 1.278. Had seeds around 156, 157. Lane 6, Sarah Cohen, Cherokee, scratching out here. So that is 50 splits on the board. Here we are at 100, Sarah Rodriguez. Sarah continuing her swim career at Texas. Quick note on Sarah. I covered her last year at the New Jersey Gold, which was previously known as Junior Olympics. She went 152 and 200 back, and I couldn't talk after that. It was just amazing to witness. All right. That is a 150 split there, folks. 119.49 cumulative. So that is lane 4, followed by 3, and then 5. I'll get the names updated shortly. Top right of your screen will be the first heat of the next race. 147.81, Sarah goes low, bettering her 148.39. So she'll be in the middle of the pool for the finals. Nice job, Sarah. Okay, you see the swimmers lining up now. We're going to move, so odd numbers. We're going to event 5, 200-yard IM. 4 heats, heat 1 of 4. This is not circle seeding. These are 2:11, 2:12 seed times. All right, again, Sydney Wright was not in her previous. Wait, maybe she's here. No, so there was a separate scratch here. Oh, Leah Shesher in lane 5, no show. Again, this is heat 1 of 4. The next 3 heats will be circle seeded. I'll get those names updated. Record set last year, Audrey Devereaux, 155.73. I think that was nationally ranked time for her. Like a national age group time. Top right of your screen are the entries for the next heat, heat 2 of 4. All right, 200-yard length of this, 50 of each stroke. That is the completion of the backstroke. I'm saying this wrong. So lane 3 was the no-show. Laura Murch. So leading them out here is Leah Shesher and Sydney Wright in 4. Here we are transitioning to freestyle final 50. Final 25 at this right-hand wall. All right, and into the finish. Again, this was heat 1 of 4 of event 5. So you can see the order of events on the bottom right of your screen. Here we go with heat 2. All right, folks, sorry, I'm just still cleaning that up a little. But you get an idea where the swimmers are now, so. Underway, heat 2 of 4. Lane 1 is closest to you. That's Avery Look, Chatham. 2 is Megan Donovan. 3, Sarah Wee. 4, Addie Elko. 5, Riley Fitzpatrick. 6, Ting Ting Liu. 7, Gretchen Schultz. All right, here's the ladies finishing up on their butterfly leg. Top right are the entries for Heat 2 up next. Oh, shucks. We are on event 5. My little label at the bottom center was not updated. We have event 7 next. So we have one more heat and then event 7. This will be the final transition for breaststroke to freestyle. First to turn there is Elko in 4, 136 cumulative. I'm sorry, this is Heat 2 in the pool. Jeez. The names for Heat 3 are on the top right of your screen, folks. 2 in the pool. Addie Elko improving on her 206.07 down to a 205.90. All right, here we go with Heat 3. Underway, Heat 3 of 4. Top right are the entries for Heat 4, the final heat. Again, we're in circle seating here, middle of the pool. Emily Sudol, 206.04. Outsides are 210 seed times. 27.48 on that split, middle of the pool. Again, record set last year, Audrey Devereaux, 155.73. This is Heat 3 of 4. Names for the final heat, top right of your screen, folks. All right, this will be the final transition to freestyle. Lane 4, Sudol leading. Emily. .25 to go at this right-hand wall. And low time goes to lane 4, 205.99 for Emily. Improving on a 206.04. All right, final heat. Here's our lane assignments. And that. All right. Looks like we're a little cleaned up there on the names to the lanes. So those are the names, obviously, last name, comma, first name, school, and then seed time. This is final heat, heat 4 of 4 for the 200 IM. Low seed, Aya Badri here in lane 4, 205.72. Top right is the first heat of 50 frees coming up. Here we are, halfway point of distance. So they'll transition to breaststroke at the 100-yard turn. This is our heat 4 of 4. Abigail Hayes in 2. Came in on a 2:10. Again, middle of the pool was 205s, 206s. Keep an eye into the finish. Well, I'm sorry, into the 150. We have freestyle to go. Badri had a low split, 35 there, 36 on the outside, lane 1 by Emily. This will be 25 to go at this wall. Abigail Hayes in 2, hanging with the middle of the pool. Big drop there, 207 for Hayes. She came in, again, 210.44, nice drop. That might make it. Again, I'm not gonna speculate. I haven't been tracking them closely, but red cap there, nice drop, Abigail. First heat of the 50 free, see the ladies behind the blocks. Here's their lane assignments. Heat 1 of 4 record, Anna Mosch. Anna continued down to Virginia. Ironic story, I'm a big lacrosse fan also. So Virginia is playing at Cal. So you talk about kind of a feeder, 2 schools feeding Jersey swimming. So again, not to confuse, it's not a swim meet. Women's lacrosse, Virginia is at Cal today. So just, I thought, very ironic. Obviously, Cal, South people know Destin Lasco, North people know Jack Alexi, Rob Alexi, and I think Central Jersey people know Roman Jones. So there you go. For anybody that believes that Central Jersey exists, there we are. That was Heat 1. I'm slow on the names, folks. All right, here's our lane assignments. So this is heat 2 of 4. We are circle seated, outside 24s, inside 23s, high 23. 23.48, Tori Castro, low seed here, lane 4. If you're not familiar, so center of the pool gets a lower seed time, and then it works outward from there. Underway. This is, again, heat 2 of 4 for the 50 free. Here are the ladies coming into the wall. Low 4, lane 4 goes low. Castro, 23.55. Just offers incredible, a great seed of 23.48. All right, nice job, ladies. Here we are, heat 3. Moving quick. Names for Heat 4 updated top right. Now this is Heat 3 of 4. This is the finish. Very tight across the board. Looks like lane 4 is going low. And she does 23-7 for Gebhardt. Here we go with Heat 4. Haywood, Bernard, Bertiello, Cullen, Ritter, Flanagan, DeMuth, and Haggerty, 1 through 8. Here's their lane assignments and seed time. So as you can see, lane 4, low seed 23:06. Anna Mosch holds the, that's not where we are. Anna Mosch holds this record at 21:95, set last year. Final heat here for the 50 free. Top right names are updated for the next race. We'll have a short break at the end of this. Well, not really a break, just a pause. Lane 4 goes low, 23-28 for Cullen. All right, just off her seed of 23:06, her low seed coming in. All right, folks, that was event 7. So we're having our virtual diving contest for event 9. Then we'll go event 11, the butterfly. So as you see, nobody behind the blocks. We will get a short pause. All right, so the chat is open. Hopefully you're enjoying the coverage. Feel free to put a comment, question. Will you be streaming the boys? Yes. Yes, I will. So I'm doing the boys. I am not doing tomorrow. So Jersey rules is the pecking order is NFHS, NJ.com, and then it goes open bid. So NFHS is doing tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's a pay stream. So glad I could bring you this today. Again, the internet is not as good as I hoped. I am recording this. I will upload a better copy later. You should be able to, hopefully we're getting by. If you could comment, I see I can't read your name. Oh, thank you very much. How's the quality? Depending on if you're watching it on a very large TV, it might be grainy. If you're in kind of that 40, 50 inch range, which used to be a large TV, now that's considered small. But I will upload a better quality copy tonight. So the boys will be on the same channel, my YouTube channel, Common Guy Sports, but it'll be a separate stream scheduled to go live at 2 o'clock. I'll go hopefully 20 minutes before. My first time setting up here, so that's why we had a little scramble. All right, so you see a few swimmers in the pool warming up, cooling down. talking about that for high school for girls.
Oh, because they got rid of it, so they still wanted something. Well, at least that's a good idea, because they, for the kids, it's very
They crowned one champion. Because, like, you got the other day, they would all play each other, and then when they get one champion, they have to All right, folks, we're in our little break here from kind of event 7 to 11. So we do not do swimming as part of this. We don't do diving as part of this. So that was that kind of event 9 allocation. Diving was competed a couple days ago. You could see the results. NJ.com posted the results. So we're going to resume shortly. Event 11, 100-yard butterfly, slated at 10:50. According to the schedule, it is 10:40 here. So maybe in about 10 minutes. The names you see on the top right are Heat 1 of 3. If you are just joining us at any point, you can go back, rewind, and rewatch. So I'll just do a quick pan around. If you've never been to GCIT, very traditional, left to right can be a 50-meter pool. So we do have that bulkhead in the middle. You can also see that in this camera angle, right-hand side of your screen. So we are set up 25-yard pool. And then looking down the far-hand side, you see there's also swimmers down there warming up, cooling down. So just to be clear, I'm just live streaming today's preliminaries, girls and boys. Tomorrow, it's being covered and streamed on NFHS. So take a look. That is a paid site, so just a fair warning if you're not familiar with it and you want to watch tomorrow, take a look and probably you need to sign up. Do it tonight just to be safe. I mentioned it earlier, so covering today, I'm an independent. I'm not affiliated with the people covering tomorrow. I just saw that today was open. Nobody was covering it. I personally had a cancellation, so through NJSIAA, they granted me the rights to come down and cover it. So I'd like to acknowledge kind of some of the companies or pools or clubs that I work with that kind of gave me the ability to come down and do this today. And I mean that through the years, them hiring me, put a little money in the bank, and we're doing this on that profits. So I want to give a shout out first off Summit Area Y. They've been a long time supporter of my channel, hiring me for their meets. So maybe you've seen me cover one of the meets there. Full disclosure, my daughters both swam at Summit Area Y. That's kind of how I got started. Next up would be Westfield YMCA. They brought me in this year to cover their Devilfish Classic. So if you're interested in any of those, that stream's available to watch. Cougar Aquatics, another club that's hired me, so shout out to them. And lastly, New Jersey Swim. So last year was my first time covering their Gold Meets, which is the renaming of what used to be known as the JOs, or Junior Olympics. So thank you to them. And then a couple other swim-related companies. One is Be Smart. They're here today doing all the timing officiating. So they're the time official or official timer. They're certified and they take care of both the seeding and then the results. And then the other is similar kind of business, Justin Timing. So Justin also Brooks. Awesome family-run business there. Cross paths with them, and they really allowed me to get the job done. So shout out to all of them. How are we going to do this? All right, while we have a second, I want to kind of just highlight one thing. Let me see this. Hopefully this gets on your screen okay before we get started too quickly. So on your screen, I'm trying to get this. All right, so this is looking at the website SwimCloud. So if you're not familiar with it, it's a great site. Think of it as LinkedIn for swimmers. So this is looking at the 2024 class that graduated last year, and you can see Adam Mosch, Emily Thompson, and all the way through, swimmers going to significant programs and going into their freshman year, having incredible freshman, if you would, campaigns. Adam Mosch down in Virginia has been part of both American records, school records, ACC records, and so on. So that's the women's side. And here's the 24 men. You can see there significant accomplishments there. But really, I wanted to shout out the current class coming out. Why is that doing that? So the class of 25, the seniors, not all here, but Chloe Kim, highest rank within New Jersey. Sarah Rodriguez, we just saw her. Kathleen Turano. Sydney Arcel, as I mentioned, going down to Duke. Katie Lawrence to Syracuse. Kylie Montgomery to Georgia. So can say the New Jersey swim programs and going into college is very significant. On the men's side, class of 25, Kenneth Barticle from Mendham, continuing the feeder into Cal. As I mentioned earlier, significant talent going out there. Roman Jones, Dustin Lasco, and Lee Alexis. Charlie Culp going down to be a Blue Devil. Connor Johnson from my original hometown of Parsippany, Virginia Tech, and so on. You see down the line. All right. So just wanted to highlight that. Jersey programs are very strong, and we're getting to see a lot of talent in the pool today. And obviously then tomorrow. All right. So again, that's called SwimCloud. It's interesting. Depending if your club team is putting results into that, you might see them. But obviously, okay. So we got the whistle. Look like we're then to resume. See a couple swimmers behind the blocks. Again, we're then to resume with event 11, 100-yard butterfly. Aforementioned Emily Thompson set the record for Meet of Champions 53:33 last year on March 3rd. Again, this is heat 1 of 3. We're circle seated here. So you can see the lane assignments, middle of the pool 55s, 59, 58 on the outside. So that alignment needs to go just up a little. All right, hopefully you get the idea, and hopefully you find that useful. If you are not looking at Meet Mobile or the Be Smart website, that's why I present that on the screen. So the top right is now updated with heat 2 of 3 swimmers. Again, this is event 11. Slated to go off at 10:50. It is 10:51 here, real time. All right, so I don't know how, if you heard or not, but during that little break we were talking. So swimming having the meet of champions is pretty significant. NJSIAA made the determination to stop funding a lot of the other sports year-end kind of single champions. Kind of the exception, so swimming somewhat the exception. This is, their end-of-year all-star meet. On the boys lacrosse side, shout out to Coach Flynn from Mountain Lakes. The boys lacrosse started up what's known as the Kirst Cup in memory of Kyle Kirst. We'll talk about that in a second. If anybody is familiar with men's or boys lacrosse in New Jersey, you should know the Kirst name. And if you're not familiar with the backstory, I'll give you kind of high level, but it's a great read to dig into it. Again, heat event 11, heat 1 of 3. Names on the top right are the heat 2 swimmers. Underway. So real quick on that Kirst story, Kyle Kirst, father, Summit, New Jersey, was a high school coach at Summit, had 4 sons, unfortunately passed away at a very early age. But the tournament is in his memory, his legacy. And if you don't know the Kirst, if you're a fan of men's lacrosse, you know the Kirst name. All 3 boys went on to play Division I lacrosse, CJA at Cornell right now as a goalie. And they are also part of the USA lacrosse program. So if you're not familiar with it, go out, Google it, read about it. And it's just a great story and great legacy that is being maintained. Coach Flynn from Mountain Lakes spearheaded that. All right, here we are coming into the wall for the finish. As you see, the officials leaning over. So the white shirts, a little different in this type meet. We have all officials performing the timing. All right, low time there, 55:29 for Anna. Just off her seed, 54:72. Again, so the structure here is morning prelims, not evening finals, but tomorrow finals. All right, so a little different. Other championship meets, swimmers will swim in the morning and then take a break, go home, come back for finals at night. That's how a lot of the year-end high-level meets work. That's how the colleges work. So going on right now, shout out Kyle Sockwell down there covering the Big 12. That's how the Big 12 works, and that's going on right now. You can watch that on ESPN+. If you don't know the name Kyle Sockwell, follow him on Instagram. Great, retired college swimmer, we'll call him that. But now he's a really significant influence in promoting college swimming. This is heat 2 of 3. The names for heat 3, top right of your screen. Heat 3 will be the final up next. That is the 50 turn. So one unique thing you'll see on this board, it does put running order. The second column on that scoreboard is the running order. Some scoreboards only display a final order. So it's always a good way to indicate. All right, here we are into the finish. Lane 5 goes low. Castro 55-35. Torrey dropping 0.3 off of 55-65. That was heat 2. Here's our heat 3 entries. 7 swimmers here. So interestingly, the first heat they had 2 empty lanes, second heat 2 empty lanes, third heat 1 empty lane. This is heat 3, and then we're going to event 13, 100 freestyle will be up next. There's 5 heats there. You'll see those names get updated in a second on the top right. All right, final heat here. Top right are the names for the first heat of that 100 free, which is up next. Shelby Hitchinson in lane 4, first to turn at the 50, 25-18. Shelby came in on a 54-51 seed. Samantha Vilsaeus to her left there, lane 5. And lane 4 is Kara Harkins from Chatham. All right, lane 4 into the wall, going low, 54.05. Dropping almost a half a second off a 54-51 seed. Nice improvement there. All right, 100 free up next. So as I said, we have 5 heats. Anna Mosch holds a record here from last year, 47.80. 50.41 was the low seed. Underway. Again, this is heat 1 of 5 for the 100 freestyle. Four lanes to the pool. This will be a 50-yard turn here. Lane 3, Reese. Lane 4, Zahara. Lane 5, Vivian. Top right of your screen are the entries for heat 2 of 5. Again, all this information is on the website, BeSmart, BeSmartTinc.com. I also believe they're updating Meet Mobile. I don't know if the final results are being pushed to Meet Mobile. I'm taking a look as we go.
Oh my gosh.
Here's heat 2 swimmers. Names for heat 3 are top right of your screen. In the pool, heat 2, names for heat 3, top right. That is the 50 turn. First to turn, Ford in 6, 25.85. All right, folks, yeah, the final results are in Meet Mobile. All right, that was heat 2. Here we go with heat 3. Names for 4, top right of your screen. All right, Karaoke Crusher, you're helping me out. You should be called live stream crusher too, so appreciate it. Yes, they are being updated. Underway with this heat 3 of 5. Names for 4, top right. So it looks like moving on to the finals in the medley relay. Pingree, Kinnelon, Newark Academy, Watchung Hills, Ocean City, Mainland, Rainey, and Hillsborough in 8th, 150.96. 200 free. Sarah Rodriguez, Sydney Arcella, Madeline Brennan, Colleen Bull, Jane Kavanaugh, Kara Harkins, Madeline Crawford, going Chatham, Island Johnson. Nice job, ladies. Congrats. You will see them tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'm not covering it. Again, that's in NFHS. This is Heat 3. Low time goes to Aiden, 51.92, just off her seat of 50.94. Here we go, Heat 4 of 5. Underway. Names for Heat 5, the final heat, top right of your screen. .200-yard IM is also updated. We'll take a look after we get through this. We have the 500. We'll have a little more time to talk. So 200-yard IM needs to be read out. That is lane 4. Colleen Bull came in on a 50.79 seed. Here comes Colleen into the wall, followed closely by 3 and 5. So just off her seed, 51.73 for Carter. Kavanaugh, 51.80. Kavanaugh and Jane improving off of 52.49. And Danny Carter. Shout out Danny Carter's. SDSU, San Diego State University, home of the Tritons. My daughter is going to be a senior, Danny, when you're there next year, so. She does not swim, plays club lacrosse there if anybody's scratching your head. Awesome school if anybody unfamiliar with it. I gotta, it wasn't on our radar early on, but my daughter has had a great experience there. So it is part of the California State Schools. So like UCLA and so on. It's known as UCSD, San Diego. This is final heat. Here we are at the 50 turn. We have 3 heats up next for 500 freestyle. These will be circle seated. So the top right are the names for the first heat. Here we are, the final heat though of the 100 free. Lane 4, Addison Gerbert, followed by Sydney Arcello in 5 to her right. They're coming in neck and neck. 50.88, 50.99. Definitely be seeing both of those ladies tomorrow. Sydney came in on a 51.01, improving on that down to 50.99. I think she swam her race there. Nice job. Congratulations. As I said, so we'll have 500 free coming up. These are our swimmers for the 500 free first heat. Heat 1 of 3. So qualifying time here was a 5:16:31. You can see all right, lane 8 empty here for heat 1 of 3. We are underway. All right, lane 3 empty. Who was that? Sarah Cohen. All right, so as you see, right-hand side, if you're not familiar with it, those are counting placards, cards, whatever you want. In swimming, everything has a couple different names, so depending on what you were taught or what geography. So those are then to show odd numbers. At that time, the swimmers saw ones. Next time down, they will see threes. We'll take a look with the lead swimmer here. So just unfortunately, just got to peek over the handrail there. That is lane 4, Leah Cottrell. She came in on a 4:59. So this is a 100 split. Oh, wait. What are we doing here? Do I have the wrong names? What's going on here, folks? Oh, the board went to boys 100 free. That's what's going on. All right, so the scoreboard went to event 14. So again, we're only doing odd numbers here. So those names, I'm showing you like zoomed in. All right, so that's a 150 turn. Don't worry about that. The timing system's smart enough. The fact that it has names up there is independent. Colorado, the recording of all the data doesn't know names. The names are just up there for a display purpose. The problem's going to be the board stopped there, though, because it was only expecting 100 yard to be swum. So that's why the board is now frozen. All right. All right, yeah, so Colorado, the timing system is pretty smart. So as long as the controller didn't do a reset, so if you're familiar with Colorado, there's a way to put it into a reset mode. So fortunately, they did not. So we're okay. It'll have all the splits. So now you can see on that scoreboard top left of your screen. So love it when, yeah, now, so those splits are funky because the scoreboard, in a sense, stopped at the 100. So that one, just looking at lane 4, her 132 is basically a 150 because it wasn't counting touches for that little period of time. So they touched at 11 at that far side. Now you saw 11s go down. Here's our lead swimmer in 4. First name is Leela. So that'll be 12 lengths complete. Good scramble here. Here's a teammate. This teammate should get the... she's having trouble with that one too. All right, so that should be 13. So the last split would have been 12 or 300. And with swimmers swimming right around 30, somewhat easy to kind of put them where they are, understand where they are. So this should be a 350. So if she's splitting 30s, she's averaging just off of 30 there. All right, folks, hope I'm not making it more confusing, but... All right, so the teammate there having a little challenge putting the placard down, should be seeing a 15. All the swimmers are at that 15 at that right-hand wall. So we'll be at 16 400 splits coming up. All right, lead swimmer in 4, Leah. All right, followed by 5. And again, you can see that on the scoreboard. Second column in is showing running order. So lead swimmer just split 30.65. She's 1.21 over and 30 average. All right, so 17 at that side. We should be getting a bell here. I don't see the officials coming into frame here. So this is bell lap. 50 to go at this turn. All right, let's take a look. That's second place there, 4:36, splitting a 30. That was Lowry. Bridget came in on a 5:03, kind of puts her right about that. Depends what she comes home in. All right, low time here, lane 4, Cottrell, 5:00.83. Look at that, came home 28.6. Awesome. Lowry comes home 29.2, 5:05.7. Okay, kind of tight to make judgments what it's going to take to get back. So again, with these circle seatings, somebody from Heat 1, not in lane 4 or 5, could make it. 5:12, 5:16, improve. All right, got to update. All right, here we go with Heat 2. Here's your names for Heat 2. So that... Ellie, in the previous race, Heat 7, dropping a couple seconds there, came in 5:14. I think that's our 5:12 on the board. All right, this is Heat 2 of 3. No, wait. Hold on, folks. Now these are Heat 2 of 3 names. Geez, I had the whole time of a 500 and I didn't even get it done. Top right is the names for Heat 3. Again, with the circle seating, lane 4, each of these heats is going to be kind of third, second, and first low seed times. So as you see on the top right, low seed time, Madeline Crawford, 4:56. And in this heat, lane 4, Madeline Brennan, 4:57. Previous heat, lane 4, Leila Cottrell, 4:59. This is heat 2 of 3 of the 500 free. And then we're going 200 freestyle relay. Some of these swimmers, you might see them in the next race, depending on their team's relay structure and setup. Obviously, well, I can't say obviously. More than likely, you'll see these swimmers in the final event, which is the 400 free freestyle relay. A little longer event, more akin to the distance swimmers. So they're at 75 at that far side. Every swimmer saw a 3. Next split you see on the board will be 100 yards complete. Swimmers all seeing a 5 at this right-hand wall. All right, Crusher, if you're coming for the boys, stop by, say hello. I'll throw it out there if anybody's watching, you're coming in later. I do have an extra headset here. I mentioned it to the fans. If anybody wanted to hop on, give a shout out. Son, daughter, friend, teammate. A few of the Shawnee students were here to cheer on their relay. All right. So that was 8 200 yards complete. Swimmers down here at this far side seeing 9s. Hopefully that counter is all rectified. So you'll see the swimmers kind of bobbing the counter. That's to incentivize or pass on instructions from a coach, kind of pick it up. Okay, that is lane 4, first to turn there at 10 halfway. That's a 250 split for all the swimmers on this left-hand wall. Lead swimmer, right-hand wall. 11 of 20 lanes complete there. This is 12, 300, 255.29 cumulative for Madeline Brennan there in lane 4. She's already at that far wall, seeing 13. Interestingly, lane 3 does not have a pole. She's going old school there. All right, jump back to the start. 14 lengths, 14 of 20. This is our lead swimmer, Brennan in 4. All right, so you can see the distance relative to the field here. This will be a 400 split. All right, we'll stay here with all the swimmers. So running order is 4, 5, 3, 2, 7, 8, 6. Okay, we'll be getting a bell here. 17 complete at that far end. We'll take the bell with our lead swimmer here. Just split 29.9 on a 4:25.55. What are we doing, folks? Let's do the math. 4:56, 4:55. Came in on a 4:57.08. We got to stay here. I think we're dropping time. Again, came in 4:57.08. Boom, huge, 4:54.02. Awesome. Second to the wall was Sudol, 5:03. Her seed was a 5:00.05. 5:03 might get through. Don't like guessing. Nice job, ladies. Here we go, final heat. Here's our lane assignments. Again, low seed time here. Madeline Crawford, 4:56. So that would have won in 2019, 4:56. It was funny, I was talking to somebody earlier. So there's a couple names. My daughter swam in that 2018-22 time frame. So kind of, I don't want to say legendary, but significant names. Maggie Wallace, Grace Miller, Maddie Wagoner. So awesome names in distance. And then last year, Audrey Devereaux went 4:44.29. The meet, she owns a meet record 4:44.10. So that probably was her prelim. This is final heat. Again, low seed time, Chatham swimmer, Madeline Crawford. This is final heat, heat 3 of 3. In a second, I'll get the names updated top right for that 200 relay. So kind of a shifting gears. If this is your overdrive distance, we're going fast with 4 swimmers swimming 50s each up next. This is the swimmers at the 100 split, 100 turn, whatever you prefer. And I'll steal the Kyle Sockwell. That split is on the feet, so they're not coming in and touching, they're coming in and turning. So if that was 100, swimmer would be coming in, hand extended, would have a better time than that 57.06 lead there for Crawford at the 100. Here we are coming back at the 150. Top right is heat 1 of 4 in those relays. All right, so this is Crawford in 4, Addie Elko in 5. 200, both ladies at 158, split in 30s. Nine lanes complete on this right-hand wall. We'll be at 250 on the return. As soon as these ladies turn, we'll go wide here at the 250. All right. 5 swimmers there, kind of 3rd through 7th place. Running pretty tight. Again, this is result of the circle seating, where middle of the pool has a kind of a significant difference. So they're 456, 459 seeds. Outside of them is a 505, 509. So I don't know, is the advantage to the lanes 3 and 6? A lot of people say not the advantage to 4 and 5 here, but shows the swimmer's fortitude. 13's at that far side, so that last split was 12 lengths, 300 yards. This is, again, Crawford closest to us, and to her right, Addie Elko. And I'm cutting off lane 1 there. Sorry about that. Summer DeWitt there. Sorry I was cutting you off. All right, we'll take a look here. Should have a view over the handrail there for Summer. So again, that is lanes, or place 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, kind of running very tightly. That is 400 complete there at that turn left side. We'll stay here. Here's this 400 splits for majority of this field. Jump to the far side. 17's down. We'll have a bell at the return. 75 yards to go. This 25 bell, which will be 50 more. Addie Elko sitting on the hip there. .431, 432. Both ladies splitting mid to low 30s. Again, this is not really a head-to-head race here. I think both ladies will move on. It's just for placement within the pool in the finals. Barring a DQ, I think both these ladies safely into the final. Nice job, ladies. 501 for Crawford, 502 Elko. Let's see the rest of the field coming home. 3rd, Kiss. 4th, Stranker. 509 was the seed for Kiss. She just went right on that 509. She went 509 low. Her seed 509.6, a half a second improvement there. Nice job, ladies. All right, real quick, we'll look. Let's take a. All right. Distance swimmers stepping out, as you see, crowded behind the blocks. Here we go, 200 freestyle relay. 4 swimmers make up a team, each one swimming down and back 50. Let's then go quick. Seed so this is heat 1 of 4. This is not circle seeded. This is all 143s, as you can see in the middle of the pool, 142.8s. Next heat will be circle seeded. All right, event 17, 200-yard freestyle relay. Meet record, Ocean City. I mentioned her name before, Wallace. That record is 134.61. She was part of that team that we are underway. So again, each swimmer, you see the next swimmers are ready, getting ready to step up. We're down and back, each swimmer. Vineland, Mountain Lakes, Mainland, Haddonfield. Egg Harbor Township. Folks, I only have the abbreviations. That's why I'm going a little slow here. ACHS, KWN. Okay, low split there. Lane 6, 24:38. Second swimmer's in. Here we come back to the third swimmers. I'll get the names updated for the next heat shortly. Already at the far end. All right, so heat 2 names top right of your screen. All right, you see those 100 splits all in the 51s. Third swimmer finishing, fourth swimmer entering. That is lane 3, leading him out, mainland. All right, we're coming into the finish here. Looks like lane 5, Egg Harbor Township goes 140.73, dropping huge, over 2 seconds off a 142.86. Nice job. All right, here's our lane assignments for the next heat. This is heat 2 of 4. This is circle seated, middle of the pool. Pingree 137.3. Summit right next to them in 5. Names are updated top right for heat 3, which will be up next. All right, so a little bit of middle of the pool, there was some conversations. All right, I don't know if you were here for the national anthem, but hopefully you saw it, caught a couple of girls in the awesome Stars and Stripes speed suit. Oh, they're adjusting the wedge, middle of the pool. I don't know if you can see that. So these wedges, and I can speak from history, so they're adjustable. There's a couple pins that come out the side. You can't see it. It's under that flange. But that's how it adjusts. It's a spring-loaded pin. And what happens, so there's on the back of it, see all those little holes? That's where the pin should come out. Oh, there's the pin. See the pin in 9? So the pin pops out and then locks that in. Unfortunately, depends on, nope, that one was removed. All right. So we have a little repair going on. So 11:30, this race was supposed to go off at 11:23, so just off. But one of those things that happens to the best of them, I don't know if anybody watched the Big 12s last night, they actually had a timing system, whole shutdown during an IM. I think it was a 400 IM nonetheless. So. Huh? YouTube, Common Guy Sports. All right, Morristown in the house. Good luck today, guys. They made the long drive too. What, hour and 40 minutes? So I'm a North Jersey guy too. I guess worst case would be Pope John. I blocked that at 2.5 hours. I saw some entries from there. So, again, we're doing a little wedge repair here. So again, I'll be having the live stream for the boys up next. It'll be a separate stream, same channel. Nope. All right. Officials making an announcement. I'm trying to listen. All right, if anybody's a big John Boy Media fan, he's a great lip reader. I could not read lips, but you see the official sitting on the block here. That is missing the wedge. Bottom, you can see there is a wedge there. Are we taking a break? See some swimmers walking away. Yeah, unfortunately, with lane 4, if this was lane 8 or something, you can say move those girls around, but lane 4, you're kind of mixing up the whole, what's the word? Guju? What's the feeling? Like if you take out lane 4, you'd really throw off the flow, middle of the pool. So. All right. So I think we're just doing a slight pause, couple minutes, hopefully the repair. Coach Pat from Summit Y, if you're out there, we've had the same issue with these blocks, wedges at Summit Y. So we are, where are we? This should be heat 3 of 4? No. Heat 2 of 4 about to go. Heat 2 of 4 about to go of this 200 freestyle relay. So we had heat 1. That was not circle seeded. All those seed times were 143, 142. Again, I'm not trying to minimize anybody in heat 1. But if we look forward, heat 2, the seeds were there, 137, 140, 141. I did not capture. If anybody's out there, if you could rewind real quick, take a look. What was the low time? I guess I could do that. See what that heat 1 low time was, see if they could get possibly through. Again, if you're just joining us, we are in the event 17 200 freestyle relay having equipment issues. So they are repairing the wedge, basically the adjustable part. So the officials made an announcement. No swimmers. There are swimmers at that far end pool. I don't know, depending where we are here, the cooling down, warming up. They could be the 500 swimmers cooling down that might be swimming in the 400 free. Again, I'm just speculating. I'm up here in the stands like every other spectator. So if we go back, so the low time in that previous Egg Harbor Township, 140.73. So that could put them in the mix. They came in on a 142.86. So they dropped over 2 seconds. 140.73 might stand up, again, depending on the makeup of the rest of the relays. All right, the chat is open. All right, folks, so if you're just joining us or curious what's going on, we have a little equipment malfunction. So the NASCAR pit crew took the wedge off, and my assumption is they're repairing the pins. So these wedges use pins. So you see here, the one next to it that's in place, in slot or position 9. See that little, looks like an end of a bullet? That is spring-loaded. There's a cable that attaches to the back side. and you pull that cable, and that kind of pulls these pins inward, and that's what allows that wedge to move forward and back. And obviously, during a relay, it does get a good workout because depending on the preference of the swimmer or the heights, they're going to move that forward and back. So. So they've been funny. There's spots. So they circle C the last three. So there's been a couple times that like 1 and 8 been open. I'm sorry? There's no wedges on those. My eyes aren't that good. Well, not now. Right, yeah. Wherever they are. Right, if you had a competition. Yeah, they are. We have the same one as well. I was part of the install the summit, the same ones, and they broke all the time. And they rusted. They weren't even using both same ones. Your warm-up was what? All right, so some of the boys are here. Their warm-up was scheduled for 1. We're at 11:38. This race was supposed to go off at 11:23. I don't know how much, well, I can do that. So if I go down, last race was 11:57 if Meet Mobile's accurate. So there was some buffer put in there. Again, we're on event 17, 200 freestyle relay. Looking forward, 19 would be 100 back, 21, 100-yard breast, 23, sorry folks, 400-yard freestyle relay. So we're following the traditional 11-event high school meet here in New Jersey. The only wrinkle there is they did put, I guess, 9 and 10 in there as diving type events. Oh, why is the internet now funky? What's going on? Sorry. All right. Folks, sorry, the internet just dropped out there for a second. All right, folks. So the internet should be back. And Crusher, if you're still out there, you give me an okay. You can see and hear everything. We are in a little bit of a pause here, trying to rectify an issue with the wedge in lane 4. A little cheer goes over the crowd here for Haddonfield. Well-deserved. Haddonfield and Chatham, pretty unique this year. Both boys and girls won the state team titles. Why did that camera move? All right, folks, we're still hanging out. So they took the wedge off lane 4. I imagine they brought it back to whatever office or shop, and they'll repair that. I have every indication that's what we're waiting on. There was an announcement made to the swimmers. As you can see, a lot of swimmers behind the blocks. Can somebody translate hand signals? Yeah, I didn't build up a rain delay graphic, so sorry, folks. But again, happens to the best of them. Last night at the Big 12s, they did have a whole scoreboard reset and put a pause to the meet. So again, if anybody's out there for the boys, there was no announcement that that'll be delayed. Again, their warm-up was slated for 1 p.m. It is 11:44. This session on the initial schedule was done by noon, so 11:57 for the final race in that 400, and all those seeds were ranked 345. So there was about a 1 hour period in between completion of this to the warm-up session for the boys. And then, oh, there's a whistle. There's not a wedge on 4. All right, folks, your guess is as good as mine what we're doing here. All right, looks like we'll go without lane 4. All right, I'm guessing. All right, so I'm going to put this up. Yeah, you don't want to see that. You want to see this. So this was the lane assignments. Oh, they had them step down. Now we're stepping up. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lane 4 was Pingree. And Pingree did have a seed 137. I don't know. I guess the disadvantaged Summit just outside of that lower seed, potentially. Summit came in on a 140.65. Just saying, folks. So lane 3, first to turn there. Okay, so you see those impressive splits there, 24-21, 25-65, 25-57 for Rainey. All right. Looks like we're almost even across the board. Third swimmer's about to enter. I'm going to get the names updated for the next heat. I don't know where they're going to put that Pingree. Oh, I'm sorry. Already updated top right is the Heat 3. What's going on? Lane 6, lane 2 looks to have slight advantage here. Final swimmers going in. Lane 2, Morristown. They're first to turn, 25 to go at that right-hand wall. Morristown came in 142.10. They're dropping 141.32. They go low, 25.05 coming home. Summit 23.82 coming home. I'm assuming that's Sydney. Nice swim from Morristown. Normally swimming out of their meter pool, they come down here and kill it in the yards. All right, so Pingree was not there, and here we have NA. I don't even know what that abbreviation is. Oh no, I'm sorry. Mount St. Mary's, lane 4, Mount St. Mary's, 137. So again, no official word. I just assume they'll run another heat with all the lane 4. Final heat, Chatham. So in a sense, we're going back to a more traditional. So potentially we have one more heat of all the low seeds. So we're kind of back to a normal. Anybody school NA abbreviation? Oh, thank you. I should know it, in my backyard. Newark Academy NA. So sorry, folks. I think they won their. They did very well on the girls' side. Maybe. All right, so we're going without Mount St. Mary's in 4. Again, folks, we had equipment issues there in 4, so we lost Pingree in the previous, Mount St. Mary's here, and potentially Chatham in the next one. So those were the 3 really interesting twists. So 3 fastest seeds that were there through circle seeding. So now we potentially go back to a very traditional, last heat kind of situation. All right, first 50 done. Look at that, lane 7, first to turn. Warren Hills, WHS. Again, folks, sorry, I have it somewhere, I just don't have my abbreviation cheat sheet. But heat 7, keep an eye up there. Heat 7, lane 7, folks. All right, they're first to turn at the 100. Is that a 40-something? 48.8 at the 100. All right, they continue to lead over lane 5. Final swimmers entering. Let's look at this delta. 114.86, 116.69, so just under 2 seconds to Newark Academy. We'll see these anchor legs bringing it home. Running order 7, 5, 3, 8, 6. Again, this is heat 3 of 4. Low time, 140.84. Dropping 1.5 seconds off of 142.14. That was heat 3 of 4. Okay, the names top right, and here they are. Here's the lane assignments. This is our heat 4 of 4. Again, lane 4 empty. That was Chatham, low seed 137.11. So I think we'll have 3 teams, Pingree, Mount St. Mary's, and Chatham. Held out. We probably have 1 heat coming up with those 3. All right, this is heat 4 of 4, but we'll probably have 1. Yeah, so there's an announcement. Can't. All right, 7-5-3. First to the wall. Low split there was Ridge, 25-4. All right, so on the top right, I don't know what lanes they'll be put in, folks. All right, so I have the three names up there just as a placeholder: Pingree, Mount St. Mary's, Chatham. So those were the three that were supposed to be in lane 4. Chatham is behind the blocks in 5, pink caps. You can see them partially in that picture. All right, so that's our 150 splits. Here are the ladies, 25 to go. Lane 1, lane 5. Keep an eye bottom of your screen, lane 1. Hopefully we pick them up here. New Providence. No, lane 5 goes low. 140.32. New Providence goes 140.49. Nice drop. Second and a half for New Providence there in 1. All right, so let's do this, folks. So Chatham is behind blocks in 5. So we're going 5, 6, 7. I don't know who's in 6. Pingree. Oh, there's the mount, the big red mount. Chatham 5. Pingree and then mount. Look at that, I almost had it. Let's see if we get it, folks. Look at that. I just missed the numbers. 5, 6, 7. All right, we'll just flash that. All right, on the fly, folks. So this is bonus coverage, extra innings here for this. So again, lane 4 had the wedge issue. Hope you're following along. Hope I'm not confusing everybody. All right, so these were the top 3 seed times. Pretty interesting kind of, oh, who's in 3? Haddonfield? Is that Haddonfield? All right, looks like Haddonfield in 3. Did they get a re-swim? Oh. Yeah, it looks like Haddonfield. All first splits, pretty even. Look like Pingree potentially. All right, folks. So again, Chatham in 5, Pingree in 6, Mount St. Mary's. So if you're not familiar, all those schools, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, half hour apart, but such overlap in club programs. And then you got Haddonfield down here in 3. If you're not familiar, that's a South Jersey outside Cherry Hill. All right, again, lane 6. Pingree looks to be leading there, middle of that upper pack. Barring any disasters, DQs, and so on, you would expect everybody in this heat to move through. But again, this is why you swim preliminaries. You never know. All right, let's get this final heat. They're even coming in, folks. Again, Pingree in the middle. Chatham closest to us. Mount St. Mary's top of your screen, and then Haddonfield down here. Guessing that's Harkins. We got to follow this, folks. Sorry, Haddonfield. Might miss you, but this is too good. All right, Chatham's going low. Yeah, Cougars. All right, Chatham goes 137. Wait. 5. Wait. Yeah, Chatham in 5. 137.11 seed. They went 136.89, improving. Nice job, ladies. All right, if you can't tell, I am a Chatham dad. Daughters graduated years ago, so full disclosure. All right, up next. So hopefully that all gets straightened away. 100-yard backstroke. Sarah Rodriguez is our record holder. I got to catch my breath. This is heat 1 of 4. This is heat 1 of 3. I'm sorry, folks. This is circle seated. We are underway. All right, so hopefully we all got through that okay, understand what's going on. Just an assumption, we will check shortly. We would assume that Chatham, Mount St. Mary's, Pingree move on. We are into the 100-yard backstroke. Here we are at 50 turns. Hutchinson there in 4, 25.9 on the feet. She came in on a 55.4 seed. Low seed, Sarah Rodriguez, 52.10. She's in heat 3. Nice job. Low time there is Hutchinson, 53.52. Dropping tons off of 55.47. Again, circle seating, so on the outside there was 100 seeds. 59, 58. Improvement there for Izzy. I think she was in 2. She went 58.7. Came in on a 59.0. This is heat 2. They're stepping in. I'll get you the names for heat 3 in a second. These are all circle seating, so again, expecting middle of the pool. Names, top right are your heat 3. Heat 2 in the pool, 2 of 3. So these seeds, 59 and 100 on the outside in this heat. In the middle was 55, 56, 58, 59's kind of on the fringe. So those lanes 2, 3, and 6, 7, when I say on the fringe. All right, there's a wedge going back on 4 right now. I guess I didn't even really realize it didn't impact the backstroke, so. That is lane 5, first to turn, Olivia Wainwright from Mainline. She came in 56.35. All right, just off that, 56.6. All right, folks, that was our heat 2. Here we go with heat 3. Sarah Rodriguez, Wayne Valley. Top right are the names updated for the breaststroke, which will be up next after this. Final heat of the backstroke. We are underway. This is our heat 3. We're supposed to go off at 11:34. Folks, if you weren't with us, we had a slight delay for a wedge issue on lane 4. So it is 12:01 real time, so we're about a half hour late. There was a pretty good buffer in there, so I haven't heard an official announcement, but I'm assuming the guys' warm-up at 1 p.m. will go as planned. First to turn, Sarah Rodriguez. splitting 25-4 right next to her. Cullen 26-2. All right, Cullen came in 57-36. And then lane 4, I'm sorry. Yeah, Cullen is in 3 right next to Sarah. I am sorry. So that is Sarah in 4, Cullen in 3. Sarah goes 53-15, 55-4 for Cullen. That's a big drop there. Molly Cullen, 57-36 seed time, and she just went 55-4. Vilsaeus in 5:56. Her seed right about that. All right, here we go in breaststroke, folks. This is heat 1 of 4, not circle seeded. All these seeds 108s. Names for heat 2, top right of your screen. All right, we're wrapping up shortly, folks. Glad you can join us. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. This is really a pleasure I could bring this, especially for all the seniors, but obviously we have tons of underclassmen well representing here at this meet. But this is my little gift to all the seniors, last meet of champions. Again, just if anybody wasn't on earlier, or just to be clear, I am not covering tomorrow. It's a different service. That is a pay service, so if you intend to watch, maybe go tonight and sign up. I'm just happy to bring this to you for free. Hopefully, seeing son, daughter, niece, nephew, or, well, later it'll be nephew. This is Mike, Common Guy Sports. Here we are with heat 1 of 4 of the breaststroke. Names top right are your heat 2. All right, Samantha in 3 coming home. Came in on a 108.10, dropping on that. Nice job. All right, here we go. Heat 2 of 4. This is circle seated. Middle of the pool, 104s. Outside, 107s. Again, we have 4 heats here, then we have more relays. We have the 400 free relay, and that'll wrap it up. Here we are at the 50 turn for the ladies. Lanes 3, 4, 5. 4 and 5 look to be pulling just ahead. It's going to be tight on the wall. It is lane 5, Laywig. Sophia came in 104.28. So just off that seat. Here we go. Heat 107's on the outside. So 107, 107. All right, everybody seemed to be on their seat on that last one. This is heat 3 of 4. Top right, your names for Heat 4, final heat of the individual events for this session for the girls. Again, I'm covering the boys. We'll be back with a separate stream, same YouTube channel, just a different stream. Slated to start at 2 o'clock. Even with the delays, it should be on schedule. Here are the ladies turning at 50. That is lane 5, first to turn. That is Megan Donovan. Megan came in on a 104. Looks like we're right on that, 104.10. Seed time was 104.15. All right. This is going to be our final heat, final race for individual. Then we have next event 23. All right, again, just record on this is Emily Thompson last year, 100.93. Okay, underway. Heat 4 of 4. So the names in a few seconds on the top right are going to be the first of the relay entries. We have 4 heats there. That is now updated. Lane 4, first to turn, sub 30. That's Aya Badri from Kent Place. She leads at 75, followed by lane 5, Kim Tran, Newark Academy, and Zoe Aiden. Here are the ladies into the finish. Looks like we'll go 5, 6, 7 finish order. Badri goes 103.84, just on her seed, 104, 105. All right, everybody just about their seeds there. On the outside, Gretchen Schultz in 1, slight improvement. All right, here we are. 400-yard freestyle relay. Here's our lane assignments. Lane 4, the block is fixed, so we're back in action there. Record for this, set by Mount St. Mary's in 2022. Meisner, Chow, and Ritter. Seeds here, 348, 346, 347, so no circle seating. Low seed here at Chatham, 334. We're underway. Each swimmer 4 lengths of the pool, down, back, down, back. Since we have 3 swimmers, we'll give a little. So we're turning here. We're not transitioning. These ladies, this is a 50. They need to do 100. If anybody's jumping off, glad you could join us today. It's really a privilege to bring this to you. Really excited having the media champions still on the docket here. As I mentioned earlier, some sports lost their end of the season tournament. Boys lacrosse took the step ahead and scheduled their own tournament known as the Kirst Cup in memory of Kyle Kirst. Second swimmer's in. This is halfway for these swimmers. Again, I'd like to give a shout out, few YMCAs and a few organizations that supported me over the year, allowing me to build up this little hobby, if you would. Third swimmers entering the pool here. Lead is New Providence, NP, followed by Morristown, and then GCIT. So real quick, Summit Area Y, Cougar Aquatic Club, Westfield YMCA, and New Jersey Swimming. Those are some of the organizations I've done work with over the year under a kind of a paid agreement, so it allows me to have a little extra cash to come down here today and put this production on for you. So I hope you enjoy it, and if you see any of those organizations, those coaches, give them a quick smile, thumbs up, say thanks. And a lot of those swimmers are represented here in their, if you would, high schools, with those being the clubs. So much like if you're familiar, other sports, lacrosse and baseball and so on, student athletes have either clubs or teams outside of the high school, and that's where they kind of hone their skills additionally throughout the year. All right, third swimmers in here in the pool. This is lane 5 leading into the wall to turn, followed by 4. So again, 5, New Providence, 4, Morristown, GCIT coming into your frame here. Third swimmer halfway through. And unfortunately, a swimmer's breathing away from us. Here we go. I'm sorry, that was fourth swimmer. Oh, I looked behind the blocks and somebody was adjusting the wedge. That was the next race. Sorry, folks. That is the finish there. Low time goes to New Providence on a 3:40. Improving. They came at 3:47. Folks, keep an eye on that. 3:40, 3:43. Hold on, we got to go here and here. Here is heat 2. So that 3:40, I don't know if it's going to give top 8. It would definitely give top 16. Well, not definitely, folks, but if we did have a B final, that was a 7-second improvement. Okay, we're in the circle seating, middle of the pool. Pingree, 335, low seed here. All right. Lane 8 is open in this and the next. Again, that's kind of a artifact of circle seating. All right, first 50 there, low time, Pingree 25.5. Again, if you're just joining us or anything, there was a slight delay middle of the meet for a wedge replacement on one of the starting blocks. It is 12:15 here. I think we'll be definitely wrapped up and stay on schedule for the boys. Here's our second swimmers entering. Again, Pingree lane 4, 53.17 on that leadoff leg. $55.56. Again, the seeds here range from high 345 to low 335. Next swimmer entering. Pingree continues to lead in 4, followed by lane 5, Ridge, 146.89, 148.18. I don't know, second and change. Everybody's transitioned. Here we are halfway through this leg. 50 down, 50 to go. Would we get a split there? It's a couple, 25-2-5, 26-6. 26 in Cherokee and 6. Low split though, look like Pingree 25-2-5. Putting a little space on Ridge in 5. Next swimmer in for Pingree. 239.8 cumulative, came home 27.7. That might be the low split even at that point. All right, final swimmers are all in. I'm gonna stay here on this camera. You can see coming into your frame, lead swimmer going right to left. That is your Pingree swimmer. Anchor swimmer. Just split at 25.45. Followed by Ridge. 25.6. We'll stay here and then we'll pick up the Pingree lead swimmer coming home on our 25. Here we are. Nice swim. All right, Pingree goes low. 3:33.28. They came in 3:35.39, so about a 2-second drop. Okay, that was heat 2 of 4. Here is heat 3 of 4. Top right are the heat 4 entries. Oh, shucks, this is not the 100 breaststroke. Shucks, folks, I didn't update the name, bottom center. I should just take that off. All right, sorry about that. Bottom center, if anybody even saw that. Okay, heat 3 of 4. Top right is the final heat. All right, so in this heat, times range 3:45 on the outside, 3:35 inside, lane 4, Mount St. Mary's. Egg Harbor Township EHT there in lane 2. All right, we're tight here. Second swimmers are in the pool. Lane 2, lane 5. Next swimmers are on the blocks. Third swimmer about to enter. All right, 28 came home 28.3. They're lane 5. They've taken the lead here. Lane 2 hanging on though. Egg Harbor lane 2 came in on a 3:42. Third swimmers are in the pool. That's halfway through their 100-yard obligation, commitment. 25 to go on this far hand wall. Lane 4 is creeping up. Mount St. Mary's in 4. Anchor legs about to enter here. We're going 5, 4, 2, 3. All right, leads are all the way at the other end already. Same running order, 5, 4, 3. I'm sorry. Yeah, 5, 4, 2, 3. Pardon me, folks. All right, here we are halfway through. Names on your top right is the last race for this session. This will be the final 25 at this wall. Okay, so Egg Harbor Township in 2 came in on a 342 seed. Mount St. Mary's in 4, 335. WHRHS, Warren Hills High School? I'm sorry, I don't know that. They came in on a 337. All right, low time goes to those guys. Warren Hills, 335. 340 for Egg Harbor. 2-second drop there for Egg Harbor Township, just under 2. Nice job in lane 2. 2-second drop. Okay, lining up, final race. Here's our lane assignments. Low seed here, Chatham, 334.09. So low there was 335, 336. So we'll see how that plays out with the middle of the pool in this one. Underway. Again, with circle seating inside lanes 4 and 5, Chatham and Summit, they came in 334, 336. Outside pool, lane 1, lane 8 were 344, 346. So more so than a traditional seating, there's a pretty big delta. So we'll see how this plays out for those outside lanes, hanging on and hopefully improving their times and coming back tomorrow. So main line in 3, Chatham in 4, Summit in 5. MBS, Morristown Beard School, I'm assuming in 6. Second swimmer's in. What was that low time there? Chatham, 52:31. It's halfway through for second swimmers. All 26 on the board that last time. Third swimmer's about to enter. Chatham leads very close for 3, 5, and 6, as you can see. Third swimmer's in pool. 148.09 cumulative for Chatham. 150's just flanking them. So just about 2 seconds. We'll see where it is here. Chatham potentially putting a little space. Summit and mainline. I might have said main line. Sorry, I'm not a Philly guy. Mainland. 3 is mainland. 5 is Summit. Here we go. Final swimmer entering Chatham. 1,001, 2. Looks like Sydney for Summit. See if she can bring home a little of this distance. Chatham leads. What was the space there? Chatham, about a 5-second. All right, halfway through for Chatham, 50 to go. All right, Summit in 5 turning. I don't know, lane 8, did they sneak up on me? I don't know, the scoreboard might not be accurate, but I don't know, they snuck up on me if they're in this mix. All right, here it is, Chatham into the wall, into the sun. All right, right behind them is Summit. I don't know, look up the, yeah, they did, lane 8. I missed that, folks, sorry about that. 338. They, on the board it says 3rd place. What did they, came in on a 346 seed. Hello. Went 338. Chatham 334. Chatham improving on a already impressive 334 down to 333. Summit came home 337. Just off their seed, 336. All right, ladies. Big effort here. All right. This is Mike. I'm going to stay here for a second. I don't know. All right, as the ladies cool down, change. All right. So hopefully that was a good production. We got through it, had a couple hiccups. We're back for the boys in about an hour and change. So, again, check Meet Mobile. I imagine any DQs and anything will be taken care of. I'm trying to see what's completed so far. All right, so Chatham, if it's in Meet Mobile as completed, Chatham 332.12. Well, you see up there on that scoreboard, Pingree 333.28, Watchung Hills 335, Mount St. Mary's 336, Summit 5th place 337, followed by Ridge, Hillsborough, New Providence gets in there 340.09, dropping 7.4. Hillsborough dropping 8.15. So that was them there in the outside lane. Nice outside smoke. First time I had to say, or could say it all day. Nice job to them. So that's the top 8. Mainland just squeaked out there, 9th place. Do not get invited back. So, kind of a North Jersey, interesting. North Jersey 1 through 8 there. Chatham, Pingree, Watchung Hills, Mount St. Mary's, Summit, Ridge, Hillsborough, Borderline, and New Providence. Nice job, ladies. All right, this is Mike, Common Guy Sports. I'm going to shut down. Any comments or questions, you can reach us, commonguysportsnj@gmail.com. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. Really, it was a privilege to bring it to you. Just to be clear, I'm not here tomorrow. You got to go to NFHS. They are covering tomorrow. I do have the boys, so we'll be back on the air shortly. So that's going to wrap it up. We're going to just go here. All right. Thanks again. We'll see you soon. Again, check Meet Mobile, has all the results. See who's coming back tomorrow. Congrats to all the people entering. Biggest congrats, I guess, any seniors. Unfortunately, not making finals tomorrow. This potentially was your last race. Hopefully, look back on your career, on all your accomplishments. Swimming is one of those sports, time and dedication, so kudos to everyone. Again, signing off, this is Mike, Common Guy Sports. See ya.